Another video of the truth, for you to meditate and reflect on this world where we live, ruled by psychopaths who don't love human life. Our hope is that their rule is coming to an end quickly. They will be cut off like the green grass of the field that withers. Quickly the Creator is bringing the whole armada of His armies in the heavens. Blessed be the Lord of the heavenly armies. Subscribe to the channel and watch carefully and take the codes for reflection and protect yourself. In 2017, researchers and microbiologists at the University of Virginia developed a genetically magnetized protein that was inserted into a SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus, and then injected into the brain of a test subject to manipulate its neural activity through the remote influence of magnetic fields. Next, microbiologists inserted the DNA sequence of this magnetized protein into a cell's genome, along with a gene that marked the protein as green fluorescent and regulatory DNA sequences that would enable activation in specific neurons. Then, they injected the modified virus into a guinea pig's endocephalon and monitored its brain to identify which cells were emitting the marker's fluorescence. Using microelectrodes, they created a magnetic field in the brain to activate the genetically magnetized protein, causing neurons to produce electrical impulses. In the final experiment, they injected the genetic protein into the mice's bodies, in the form of vaccines, which migrated to the deep brain structure containing neurons that produce dopamine, the chemical mediator in mammals responsible for feelings of reward and motivation. Then, they separated the vaccinated and non-vaccinated animals in an apparatus with magnetized and demagnetized sections. Those vaccinated with the genetic protein preferred the magnetized areas, and the others remained indifferent. The result of the experiment proved that the interaction of the protein stimulated the neurons to express the genetic code of the matrix cell and release dopamine, so that the guinea pigs remained in the magnetized areas because of sensory gratification. As the experiment clearly demonstrated that it would be possible to remotely control the firing of neurons in the depths of the brain using electromagnetism as a trigger, now they could also control complex behaviors in human beings, through millimeter electromagnetic waves emitted by Wi-Fi technology. In 1995, visionary, mathematician, professor and theologian, Dr. Pierre Gilbert, warned about the future implementation of a mandatory vaccination program whose vaccine formula would contain traceable metal crystals and particles sensitive to the magnetic frequencies of Wi-Fi networks, and that it would turn vaccinated people into zombies due to the biological destruction resulting from the injected deadly cocktail. Professor Pierre Gilbert reports, this will be applied by force, through laws that will make vaccination mandatory, and these vaccines will make it possible to control people. Vaccines will contain crystals that lodge in brain cells, becoming microreceptors of electromagnetic fields, capturing very low-frequency waves. And it will be through these low-frequency waves that people will not be able to maintain the process of logical reasoning and will behave like zombies, erratically. Don't think of it as a hypothesis. It's already been done. Think of Rwanda, the African nation, as this technology was behind the 1994 genocide. So if you anxiously think that the crisis will soon be over, I suggest you change your perspective. But you could even express your gratitude, as governments now say they will allow some liberties if we do everything they order, namely, accept being inoculated with a proven lethal biological agent and wear our slave masks even in our sleep. Censorship and threats against dissidents will increase, and the disinformation and blatant lies that dominate mainstream corporate news will continue ad aeternum. However, this compromised media is being helped by alternative, independent media, which have already caved into pressure and resigned themselves to fear of censorship. Put your tail between your legs. The truth is that there is massive censorship of the latest dissenting voices from Google, bloggers, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Wikipedia, and others, but there is also the rise of massive misinformation by commission and omission on media platforms. And should this obstacle motivate the meek or the apathetic to ask themselves why the repression of dissent? The answer is obvious, but for them it is not. The fact that so many refuse to try to understand the meaning of this worldwide censorship clearly demonstrates the hypnotic effects of a massive MK-Ultra-type mind control operation. Thus, the exchange of insults, accusations and even censure between former partners are now normal things, and perfectly healthy people have become a danger to others. It's cognitive dissonance in action. Your body is no longer inviolable, and now it doesn't belong to you. You must undergo medical procedures whether you want to or not, otherwise you will lose your livelihood, your family, your home, and you will be incarcerated. Do not object or question, because if you do, you will be punished and you will become an outcast. The authorities will call you crazy, take away your rights, and you will be indicted for a crime against humanity. Since the 2 vaccines imposed will not be enough to shake the Chinese coronavirus, according to the WHO, you will need several annual or semi-annual booster doses to neutralize the new strains that the heralds of doom insist on touting are coming. It will be a never-ending story, with endless new strains of virus, and with all of us immersed in a massive medical experiment that will never end. Herd immunity, which we are, is now a mystical idea, and experts stress that it will never be achieved, but don't despair or throw off your mask as you are a prisoner now, but soon you will be on parole. According to the dark and weird Fossey, the eternal use of the mandatory mask will be seasonal, as people love to wear them at home. Free association is no longer allowed, either through dialogue or in person. Actively talking and associating with other people was democratic, cool and fun, because we thought we were free. And now the lack of conscience is another epidemic on its own, as even the current exploitation we suffer and the humiliation we experience as pawns at the hands of Satanist globalists is seen as benevolence by the victims affected. The silence and fear of cowards reigns supreme, and the veiled looks mean that the ongoing terror has spread like a new virus. We should only consider in this life the teachings of Jesus Christ, and remember his words, "You will be hated by all for my name's sake, but whoever endures to the end will be saved. For false Christs and false prophets will arise, and they will show signs and wonders to deceive even the elect. Look, watch and pray, because you do not know when the time of all times and the end of all ends will come. Watch, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications, to receive new videos.